Alright, I'm back. Got an update here for 2025. So I want to start out by saying that I actually had plans on getting this video out a little sooner, but I had to go back to work and a little bit of time passed and I got a little, I don't know, just in a glitch there, trying to figure out what to do with the video. I had great plans on walking around outside and doing a vlog, but I'm going to give credit to old Mike on Old Me Living Better channel, because I happened to turn on one of his videos. It's actually, I think it's his last one, and he said, do your video in the format that you're used to. Do it the way you want to. And right now, for me, a talking head video is the best. My editing skills are pretty basic. I don't really know how to do, excuse, that was my phone going off, tons of intricate stuff, but enough to get by. So anyways, thanks old Mike for helping me out. So you probably saw my thumbnail that said it really is a wonderful life, and of course that's from that movie with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. I love that movie, but I have a wonderful life, and I'll tell you why. So the last video we talked about that we had family and friends coming up for New Year's Eve. We're gonna do some karaoke out in the barn. Everything was going good till I got that dreaded phone call, and I saw that it was my youngest daughter, the one that helped me make the cookies, and she was on the phone crying, and she said, "Dad, I got in a car accident." And of course my heart just dropped, and right away she said, "I'm okay. My car's pretty smashed up. Here's where I'm at." So my wife and I immediately dropped everything, jumped in the car. This is around dinner time on New Year's Eve, in the middle of a snowstorm, so we're in mid-Michigan. It was a snow and ice storm. Went down there, and thank God my daughter was okay. When we got down there, her car was already on the flatbed being towed away, and she was sitting in the police car keeping warm, and we took her home. She was okay, and all I can say is I'm just so grateful that God was looking out for my family and protected my daughter. So she's pretty upset. Airbag went off. She ran into the car in front of her. The car behind her ran into her, so her car got it from both ends. Car is totaled. I do fix cars, and I've put a few of them back together. This one's too much for me. I just can't do it. It's too much of a crash. You have to run the numbers and be familiar with body work and putting cars back together. But I felt bad. We had a great time. My brother-in-law and I were singing on the karaoke machine, and my daughter says, "I just don't feel like being out here. I'm going to go inside." And I went in and I talked to her, and she was pretty depressed about her car crash. And I explained it to her like this. I said, "Look, you're 35 years old. I'm 70 years old. I've lived your whole life, and then I've lived it again. So I've got twice the life experience. I'm going to tell you right now, don't worry about the car. We'll get another car. There's no car in the world that's worth worrying about. It's just stuff, like houses and cars and clothes and furniture and all the other stuff. It's just stuff. And we'll get her another car and it'll be great." So I talked to her the other day. She's doing good. She got her head in the right spot. She knows I was right and not to worry about it. There's already some people that are going to help her out, saving up, getting some money together to get a car. I'm going to help her find the car and get it all fixed up for her. So yeah, I just every time I get in the car and drive, I say to myself, thank God that Caroline was okay. Speaking of cars, we've been doing a little fixing around here. Might have mentioned I did the the brakes on the front of my wife's car, her front brakes. It came out beautiful, just beautiful. But we got to do the back brakes on my car. So I'm actually going to have a guy in town, a mechanic in the town that I live in. I found this guy. I haven't used him in years. They had an auto repair shop in the town, and the auto repair shop burnt down. And they're in the process of rebuilding it, but he's been working out of his house. And I reconnected with him. It's the kind of work we got to do. It needs a hoist. There's quite a bit of rust on the back of the car. I did crawl under there, did do a little bit of work, but with me working, I just don't have time to do it. So anyways, I'm happy about that. I'm always fixing things. That's part of life on Quail Ridge Ranch here. So our dryer's been out of commission for a while. It was something real simple. I ordered the part on Amazon, put it back together this morning, works like a top. We have the original appliances from when our house was built. Came with the house. We didn't build the house, but they came with the house, so it's early 90s. I'm going to say 91, 92, something like that. Fantastic. I'll never get rid of those appliances. Just keep them. Things break occasionally on them. It's a propane dryer. Igniter's gone out a few times. I have spares out in the barn. It takes me 10 minutes to put one in. This was the little plastic blower wheel, so this is the second one that I've replaced. But they're just built better, the older appliances. So the only thing I'm gonna throw out here on the internet on my channel, I've got a GE Monogram refrigerator. So it's one of these ones that's built in, like a Sub-Zero. It's got a refrigerator on the top, a freezer on the bottom, a drawer. Beautiful, high-end refrigerator. I didn't put it in. It came with the house when I bought it. If I built the house, I'd never put one of these in. They're very expensive to replace, but I'm having trouble with it. So the refrigerator works fine. The freezer does not get cold enough. So the freezer should go down to 0, a little below 0. It fluctuates in the 20s. I just the other day ran a diagnostic test on it, and it goes through. This refrigerator has 5 thermistors, so it runs through and it does a self-test on all of them. And I'd replaced the one in the freezer, thinking that might have, been it. No, it didn't fix it. This test went through and tested all 5. It tests the damper door, the evaporator fan, and the defrost cycle. So I think everything is testing right, but if anybody wants to throw something in the comments, I don't think it's the Freon, because the refrigerator works great. You can put the refrigerator at 36, it'll take it right down. I don't think it's a compressor. What I think it might be is the motherboard, the main computer board, just from the forums I went on. But again, I don't know. So to get to that, I have to pull this thing out from the wall. It's quite a process. Disconnect the ice maker line. It's a huge thing. It's all fit into the wall. So I might have to do that. They said take a look at this computer motherboard on the fridge. Look for burn marks. Look for bad solder joints. So we'll figure it out. I'm going to pray on it a little bit. I've been asking the Lord for some guidance here, and it will happen. Update on my son Franklin. He's 27 years old. He's got 2 jobs. He works as a dental assistant manager at a dental office. So this is an office that has 3 to 5 dentists, so it's pretty big. And he's not trained as a dental hygienist, but he actually caught on to this, self-taught, basically went in and learned everything. And what he does in the office is he does all the assisting on all the surgeries, so all the root canals and extractions, he takes all the impressions. Well, he's so good, and he's such a good worker, that they made him the manager. So that's kind of cool. But that's not his dream. That's really not what he wants to do. So he got an offer to go work at a restaurant on Saturdays. So he works at the dental office Monday through Friday, then on Saturday. Well, this restaurant is in Detroit. It's a high-end Michelin 5-star chef there. It's only open 4 or 5 days a week, reservation only. Very high-end, very good, specialized in seafood. He got in there on Saturdays working as a server assistant, which is a fancy name for a busboy. But this is a high-end place, and he just impressed the heck out of these people. He loved it. The first day after he worked there, the first day, he came through and he talked about how clean the place is, how organized it. Every single day they cleaned from top to bottom. When he got in there, he had some time, because now he's been working there for a while on Saturdays, and then they called him and said, would you like to work Friday nights? So on Fridays he does a double shift. He works at the dental office and then works at the restaurant. So just a little side note, if you're a baby boomer like me, you hear all the people talk about the young kids of today and how they don't work and they don't show up for work on time and they're on their phone. Well, guess what? I don't have that kind of a son. In fact, all 3 of my kids are workers, and I taught them what my dad taught me. So you'll be the first man in and the last man out, and do what you're told and keep your head down and you'll be fine. And they're all like that. They all have the work ethic, which is really cool. But anyways, his dream at this restaurant, and I thought it would be to be a server. These people make pretty good money. You work your tail off, but no, it's not. They have another separate bar. There's a bar with the restaurant, and then there's a separate bar, lounge, whatever you want to call it, downstairs in this restaurant. High-end bar. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a bartender. And, well, I guess the person that manages the whole place that hired him approached him the other day and said, guess what? We're going to make you a proposal. We don't want to lose you. We can't find anybody. The people that we're hiring are no good. And we're going to make you an offer so that if you want to, you'll be in a position to quit your job at the dental place and come here. And he's just out of his mind happy. So I haven't talked to him yet. He's working tonight. He's going to probably talk to him tomorrow. So this little man's going places. So we as parents we're pretty excited about him. My oldest daughter, she found my YouTube channel. So I didn't tell all my friends and neighbors and family that I had a YouTube channel. I just wanted them to find it on their own. And I know my oldest daughter sees me working in my office and the camera gear and all this kind of stuff, and she just kept searching probably by my name and found me, and she left some comments. So yeah, I haven't talked to her in person on the phone yet. She's been working a lot of overtime, but I'm real curious what she thinks of the channel. So it's kind of weird. I wanted to do the channel and have people that I didn't know rate me, just subscribe, give me feedback and that type of thing, because I didn't want it to be thrown off by my family, doing it. But anyways, she found the channel. She left comments on my videos. I think she thinks it's kind of cool. So unfortunately, I tried to call her today. She texted me back. She's not feeling well at all. So she's sick with the flu. She's in bed. Her husband's taking care of her. But over Christmas, we had gone to their house, and they have a beautiful home. We had so much fun. My son-in-law's parents were there. They're really super nice people. We had a riot. It was a good time. So it always is. Jeff cooks a bunch of food. His mom makes amazing cookies. And this was my daughter's dream, is to have the family over at Christmas time. So it's so neat to see your kids thrive like that. So yeah, that's cool. And my wife actually left her purse at their house. They live probably 50 minutes away. So we had a reason to go back the next day, because we had to get her purse, and I don't know if they had her phone or medication, whatever, and actually spend some more one-on-one time with my daughter and her husband. The Christmas party was over, and of course I got to go up into my son-in-law's office. He's into doing music and recording. He's an engineer at Stellantis, but in his off time he's a computer genius, and it's fun to be able to go up there and talk to him about and again, I didn't say anything about the YouTube. I kind of said, well, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel someday, so I'm sure Jeff knows. But we were talking about audio interfaces, and I just bought an audio interface, and I'm sure I'll be picking his brain on how to hook this thing up. So it's kind of cool. It's nice. I got back to work on January the 6th. As I mentioned before, I am a school bus driver. So I work for a small school district in mid-Michigan. We have 12 routes. I drive 75 kids from preschool all the way to senior and high school. So I take 2 loads of kids to the school, and I actually missed the kids over Christmas vacation. I got a whole bunch of gifts before, because that's what bus drivers do. They get a bunch of gifts from their kids and parents. It's pretty cool. I actually got quite a few more when I got back, because we had a snow day. So the last day that we were supposed to be working before the Christmas break was Friday, and we actually had that day off. We had a big ice storm, so our vacation started early, and some of the kids didn't get a chance to give me their presents. And I'm not looking for any presents or anything, but I can tell you that the thing that matters the most to me is the handwritten stuff. Just to give you an example, I know I've talked about this bus driving thing before. It's a big thing with me. I know it's probably not for everybody. I think it's a little different than what most people think. But here's something here. As I told you before, probably, the kids call me Mr. John. So that's my name on the bus, Mr. John. It says, Mr. John, this is thank you and your sweet family for the yummy cookies. We appreciate you getting our boy to school safely. Have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your break. That's really what it's about, because the parents are trusting me with their kids. Think about it. And to be recognized for that, there's a lot of responsibility that goes with the job. So, and here's another one. This is from 2 kids. It's a girl and a boy. They're from the same family, and they wrote a note here. Merry Christmas, Mr. John. I know it's a little late, but I hope you had an amazing break. Thank you so much for how much you do. Thank you for dealing with the bus chaos and getting us to school safely every day. Blessings on you and your family. And then this one from the younger boy. Merry Christmas, Mr. John. Sorry we're a little late, but I hope you enjoyed your Christmas break. You're an amazing bus driver, and I am so thankful. The best gift I could ever get. And I mentioned that one of the younger girls left something in my mailbox, because the kids know where I live. It's a small town. We drive right by my house on the route, so I always point over there. In fact, sometimes my wife is at the end of the driveway, maybe put something in the mailbox. She'll have our dog, and I'll announce on the PA, hey, there's Mrs. Quayle. And she'll be waving, and the kids will be waving, and it's a good time. So, I've lived in the same town, same house for 22 years. So a lot of these kids, I actually know their grandparents. They're like my age, the grandparents. And there's something funny. The other day I had a little girl, I was showing her a picture of my daughter. We were talking actually about the car crash. And she said, how old is your daughter? And I said, my daughter's 35. And this little girl just went, wow. my dad's only 31. And I'm going, well, yeah, I'm like the age of your grandpa. So it's pretty funny. Anyways, we got back to work January the 6th. It was a very, very cold week. So maybe a lot of you, I don't know how many you rode the bus, but if you remember the school buses, they're not insulated and they're pretty cold. And I had a very interesting week. So it was cold, it kept getting colder. On Wednesday, the air brakes went out on my bus. So these are big buses, they're 40-foot long Bluebird school buses. Empty, they weigh 17,000 pounds, and you throw 5,000 pounds worth of kids in them. So, they're upwards of 25,000. That's a big truck, and it's like a semi. It's got air brakes. And we have to do a bunch of safety checks before we leave. But anyways, the air pressure dropped. I was about 3/4 of the way through my route. All the alarms started going off. We dropped down to about 75 psi on the air. I hit the two-way radio. We have radios, beautiful radio system, business radios running through a repeater. So it's like ham radio in my bus. I get to play ham radio while I'm driving the bus. Is that cool? And called my boss. I have an amazing boss. And her name is Tina. Told her what was on. And the people I work for, the bus garage, school district, but my boss in particular, she treats us like adults. She lets us make decisions. And we're trained, and we work as a team. So she asked me on the phone, what do you think? Do you have brakes? I go, my brakes are functioning. I believe there's a hole in a line somewhere. I have some pressure, but the pump can't really keep up. So let me keep going. We'll see what happens. And as I kept driving the bus forward, I got to the next stop, and when I applied the brakes, which uses air, all of a sudden the alarm started to go off, and I could tell this situation wasn't going to get any better. And it's very cold. So she called me back on the radio and said, why don't you go ahead, pick all your kids up, go to the high school, go to the middle school, drop them all off, and then when you come up back to the garage, we'll have another bus here, and you can take a different bus, which is standard procedure, what we do. I called her back a few minutes later and said, we're going to do something different, I believe, because it's not going to make it. We're losing air too fast. But the bus garage is right on the way to the high school, so she said, absolutely, I will have bus number 7 ready, running when you get here. We pulled in. I pulled my bus next to 7. I hit the PA, told the kids we got a problem with the air brakes. If everybody would single file out the door, go on to the new bus. They did it. They didn't make us peep. Very proud of those kids. And then it was cool because as they got in, my boss was sitting in the seat of the other bus because she had driven it up there. And one of the kids turned back and he goes, are we going to be driving with her? And she's a very nice person. And I said, no, you're stuck with me, buddy. I'm going to continue. So she got out of the seat and we swapped buses. My bus went into the garage to get fixed. And here I got to sit down, and it's a different bus. It's a different year, and sit down and put my seatbelt on and figure everything out and all the switches and everything. Bottom line, we got them back to the high school, got them unloaded, got them to the middle school unloaded. We were off on our schedule by 5 minutes. That's it. That's pretty good. So considering a major thing like that, for a guy like me, I look at this, I'm so proud to be associated with a system, and I'm going to give my boss, Tina, the credit. She runs it like a military operation. So an old boomer like me, that's the kind of stuff I like. I'm an auto mechanic. I like systems. I used to own my own company, and I had upwards of 70 people working for me. And when you have that many people, you have to have systems in place. When you're running a bus garage with 12 routes, with I don't know how many kids, I have 75, so I'm sure each driver has about that same amount. That's a lot of and we got to get everybody in the school on time, and we got to pick them up in the morning on time. So she runs it good. So kudos to you, Tina. You did great. I'm impressed. So the bus got fixed. It was a brake booster on one of the individual brakes that was broken. I talked to Eric, our fantastic mechanic. I also had a problem with my starter engaging. You put a brand new starter on it. I got an oil change, and I got my bus back. So, but it was cold. It was so cold on Thursday of last week. I left the house at 4:45 in the morning, and it was 1 degree. By the time I got in my bus, got ready to go, it was 0. So if you've ever driven a bus in 0, the doors wouldn't open. The ABS light and alarm was going off. All kinds of alarms. The brakes work differently. The engine takes forever because I was in a different bus. So my bus is a gasoline bus, and the one that I had to drive while mine was being fixed is a diesel, and they take a long time to warm up. So yeah, I'm an old ice fisherman, so I've got long underwear, thermal socks, insulated boots, jacket, hat, glove. I mean, you're freezing. But eventually, after about 45 minutes, we started to get some heat in the bus. And then when you start loading it up with kids, you get a little heat, and it's challenging. So, but yep, it worked and everything. So yep. So yeah, everything's good. My daughter is safe. My son's moving ahead on a new job career. My oldest daughter's doing great. Her and her husband, they're thriving, and she's going to get over the flu and be fine in a few days, I'm sure. I'm going to call her again tomorrow and see if I can see how she's doing. We're getting things fixed here around the Quail Ridge Ranch. We're getting the cars fixed. We're getting a dryer. We got the dryer fixed. We're going to figure out this freezer thing. But again, if there's anybody out there that's familiar with this, drop something in the comments. I could appreciate it. But I'm praying on it, so God's going to help me with the freezer. I got the internet fixed in the barn, obviously, because we did our karaoke on New Year's, and that was some mice that had chewed through the internet line. We're working on my wife's, I call it Laura's lab, in the basement, where she creates all her tinctures. She does all her fermenting, makes her apple cider vinegar, canning. She's got so much stuff going on. We're going to have a whole YouTube on that. And she's going to have to get involved with that one because it's technical and I don't understand everything about it. But it's all natural stuff that we are literally living off the land here on our 5 acres. Laura harvests all this stuff, and you can Google it to see what these tinctures, oxymels, different teas that we make. We make dandelion tea. We eat the dandelions. We eat a lot of the plants. We don't, obviously, we're not spraying weed killer on our lawn or anything. We don't really get into that anyways. We have to have a country lawn. So it's kind of cool to, and you know, that's part of our life here on the farm is we want to get away from the chemicals. We eat clean. We don't eat anything with preservatives in it. We try to do everything from scratch, and that is part of my life, is to live healthy. I'm 70 years old and I really don't have any ailments. I got a little high blood pressure and that's about it. Could easily trim off about 50 pounds of excess weight, which I'm working on. I've lost about 20 pounds, so I'm kind of on the keto diet here. But yep, my wife cooks good, healthy food for me. We're both doing pretty good, so I'm excited about it. But yeah, and I did have plans, like I said before, about doing a walk around on the farm here to show you. We're not really a farm, but we call it a farm. Some of our projects, and I apologize, but I'll get to it. it's just been really, really cold here. So today I went out and we plowed the driveway with a tractor. We have a little compact Kubota tractor. We use a back blade. It's a 4-wheel drive tractor. We got a drive. We have a fairly steep driveway, so we got it all plowed and everything. So that's all set. And we got some more firewood. We burn firewood to offset our propane costs for our heat. And we love the fireplace, so it's a airtight wood stove, low-pie wood stove. So that's been going good. So I just had to go get some more wood from behind the barn. I used the tractor, bring it up. We have a thing I'll show you where we keep it by the front porch, and then we can just bring it inside. So, but yep, my kids are doing great. My wife is amazing. It really is a wonderful life. So welcome to 2025. Thank you for coming to my channel and watching this. It means a lot to me to be able to spread the joy, and I hope that you are having a great 2025. It is a good life out there, and you've got to look to the positive. I practice Stoicism, so one of the things that I believe in is, it's kind of like the serenity prayer. Don't worry about the things that you cannot change. Change the things that you can. So things that you have control over, if you need to make some changes and get some stuff done, God gives us the strength to do it. The things that you cannot change, don't worry about it. It's a blessing in disguise. It really is. So I truly hope that your 2025 starts as good as mine has. Thanks for coming to my channel. Hopefully you'll subscribe. I'll take that as a compliment. Send me comments. I haven't gotten a ton of them, but my channel is building. I'm getting more views. I'm really excited about this YouTube thing. And we'll see you in the next one. Adios.